What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but just wanted to do this video because it's just been on my mind, and it's been a big monumental thing that's been happening in the world of gaming. Forgive me for the noise in the background as I've been working on some stuff. So my computer's going to be loud. I did remember to mute my phone, at least in this instance. So that's a good thing. But yeah, been lots going on. But I have been streaming, so if you do, go to Twitch, please check out my streams. Holler at me there. We could talk about games, all types of stuff. I talk about everything. But right now we're going to talk about the shakeup at Microsoft. Been interesting times in gaming, period, as we had all these um, layoffs, shuffling at studios. Hell, Sony might have dodged a slight bullet in the media scrum this week because they shut down Blue Point Studios, which is crazy. Blue Point had done a lot of like remasters for them and things like that, and I think they were gonna. What was the game that they did? Were they the ones who did that live service game that nobody wanted to play? I can't think of the name of the game right now, but they've been shut down. It's a shame. Hopefully, the people can land on their feet, but all that probably is a really distant second to the fact that Phil Spencer, CEO of Microsoft Gaming, and Sarah Bond, president of Microsoft Gaming, have both left the company, which is wow. So Phil Spencer will be replaced by, I think, Asha Sharman. I have the article right here, so let me go ahead. Yeah, Asha Sharma, who she was in charge of Core AI. It's funny, it says that she was an engineer at Meta and former Instacart COO, and was a board member of Home Depot. So she has an interesting background, but she comes over from Core AI to take over Microsoft Gaming. There is no immediate replacement for Sarah Bond. Matt Booty is going to be the chief content officer, but there's no replacement for president. Now, there have been hints that Phil Spencer was going to retire, but you know, nobody knew when. And it's a shame that he's going to be gone. Like, look, I know a lot of you like to blame Phil Spencer for what's been going on, but I think you're going to really start to find out why Microsoft is the way that they are once you start seeing like the effects that are going to continue without a Phil Spencer. I kind of wish Phil Spencer would have left a lot earlier so he could show y'all like why y'all gonna miss him. Because look, I know y'all blame him for the shift in the way Microsoft does business. Like, how little we forget, like he was the one fighting the war during the Xbox One era, trying to get Microsoft back on board and get y'all to love the brand again after Microsoft clearly throughout like this whole campaign to like make gaming secondary to the Xbox brand. And it's funny, I think back to 2013 when I came out and I said, I think that you're going to see that eventually Microsoft's going to stop making hardware, and I still maintain that, even though 13 years later they're still making hardware and still planning on making more hardware. Because like it seemed like they were more worried about the brand during that presentation. That's why they were talking about the TV stuff and all this other things. How you can integrate it with this, integrate it with that. I feel like now they've kind of circled back and slow rolled it and like fed it to you enough with stuff like Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass being anywhere, the whole you can make anything an Xbox campaign and stuff like that. Like trying to convince you guys like, hey, you don't need this fucking box. You'll still be able to play your Xbox games. You just don't need the box. Or you don't need any physical platform with the Xbox logo on it. Just download on your phone, your TV, whatever device, even if it's another console. And I think now, like, what you have is you have two people stepping down who were probably the most adamant voices on maintaining the Xbox brand, the way that we traditionally know it as. But we're handcuffed by people like the CEO Nadella, who clearly like put this lady in charge because she shares his vision with AI. If y'all don't know, the CEO of Microsoft has been said to have used AI to help him make decisions. Like he has I guess, AI board members that like go over business plans and come up with ideas that he meets with. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But you know, now Microsoft's saying things not going to change. I mean, anything, they're trying to double down on the idea like, hey, we're committed to bringing Xbox back. Um, in her statement, Asha Sharma, she clearly said that. I don't buy it because again, I hear y'all saying that, and y'all had Phil Spencer, y'all had Sarah Bond say that when things started to fall off with like certain products, when the whole buying all these studios didn't work out the way that you thought, when Xbox Game Pass wasn't working out the way you thought, all that stuff. I just don't buy it. I just think that you're now just resetting to the next. How can we figure out to move away from this physical platform and convince people to still invest in our brand? And it's funny because saying that you're still committed to the Xbox when you've just did a couple of showcases, you've had your competition do a couple of things as well, where they showed off your games on their platform. You know, mind you, that's a part of it too. Like I always say, like convincing people, hey, you don't need to play a certain company's games on, you know, their platform. There's no need for exclusivity. Exclusivity is bad for gaming. Maybe it's my business management, like, studies coming out, my degree. But if you are looking to sell a particular brand, the last thing you want to do is take away reasons as to why people should commit to your brand. Like, Coke's not going to tell you that drinking Pepsi is just the same. So if you don't have Coke on it, just buy a Pepsi. You're still drinking cola, and you're still getting what you want, which is a cola. That may not be the best. Yeah, that's probably not the best analogy, but that's the best I could think of right now on the fly. Sorry, but you know what I mean. It's just like we buy Nintendo products because we know Nintendo's going to give us the Marios, the Zeldas, the things that we can't get on other platforms. You know, we buy Sony because we were getting certain things, even though now it's becoming less of a thing since they're starting to put things on PC. Sure, Sony is waiting a couple of years before they put their exclusives on PC, but they are putting on PC. That being said, at least they're giving you a couple of years so that those who really want to play something can purchase their product and have a reason, have an excuse to purchase their product. Right now, Microsoft, while they're not all day and date, there's enough stuff that's going to be day and date on a platform that's not an Xbox that it's worth the wait. And the wait is a lot less. It's with Microsoft, it's usually months, if not like less than that. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what this brand becomes. So many layoffs that they already had. Like, you're putting someone who's in charge of core AI in charge of a division that's been gutted. So many people lost their jobs, and then you're gonna have her come out and say like, we're committed to the brand. No, we're committed to humans doing the art and things like that. I can't buy it, especially since your commitment to the humans doing art has been shown to be not that substantial, as you've gotten rid of so many people over the last couple of years. Um, it's going to be fucking interesting. It's going to be fucking interesting to see where this all goes. Hey, but I'm still going to maintain, even though 13 years later I haven't been totally correct, still maintaining that I'm on the right path with the whole. We're eventually going to see the end of the Xbox console. And to be honest, and to be fair, I think we're going to see the end of consoles in general, with probably the exception of Nintendo. I think Nintendo will stop making consoles when they go out of business, but I think Sony and Microsoft, especially Microsoft is already there in their commitment. What did I just drop on the floor? I'll check that out later. I think Microsoft's already there in their commitment to their exit plan, and it's just been stalled by like mishaps and just not being able to get certain things to where, like, again, going back to Game Pass, started out hot on fire, but it cooled off, and then the raising of prices even cooled it off even more, and now it's not as desirable as people think, especially since, again, you're putting your shit on other platforms in relatively quick time, if not day and date. So the value is just not there. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen as we move forward with everything, because Microsoft's damn. I've never been huge on Microsoft, but as a gamer, Microsoft's a big deal to the gaming community. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be hurt by, this news and just what's going on in general. Because it's pretty fucking crazy. It's pretty fucking crazy, y'all. Y'all, I don't know. We got to see. Again, I think I said this a couple of months ago, but I think their best bet now is to definitely focus on becoming a publisher of software. I think publishing software is their best bet. But I don't know. Depends on what they feel. It's just hectic. Their moves are hectic, and it's hard to pin it down. Again, I still think I'm ultimately going to get to what I've said before about them discontinuing Xbox as a console and just being a brand, but it's been a crazy ride to that point, and I don't know how more crazy it can get. But hats off to Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, especially Sarah Bond. You don't see a lot of black people, let alone black women, in that space. And having her there, has been inspirational. Damn shame that she's leaving during Black History Month, but hey, she's Black History, so definitely, celebrate Sarah Bond. Seriously. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. This is a good way to spark me to do my podcast again, because damn, these are interesting times that we're going through financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, whether it be in gaming, whether it be, politically, socially, entertainment, all this stuff. It's a crazy world, financially especially. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. But yeah, I need to get my podcast back up. Anyway, as always, you guys feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll hit you later. This your boy Blak, making them out. Deuces.